welcome one and all once again to Inside the Game. Yes, on this beautiful Thursday evening here in beautiful Tobago. I'm told that it's the longest weekend in the world. I'm not too sure why, but I'm hearing that there's something called Great Fete. That's for the younger folks, but not for me. I'm heading to that direction as a legend and as a master, as you guys. Later this year I'll be celebrating the big 4-0. So this long weekend and this Great Fete thing, not really for me. But I'm here tonight. I'll be on my lonesome. I don't have my sidekick on my left tonight. She's a bit under the weather. That's Coach Cami. And of course, the team here, we wish her all the best. In fact, it's me and Porter alone tonight, you know. But we ain't fighting it. We ain't fighting it. The guys alone tonight, but we're going to have a show tonight, most definitely. As per usual, we have a packed program. And I can tell you that we have 4 persons that will grace the studio tonight. In fact, they're going to interact with you, tell you a lot about what they are up to when it comes to sports here in Tobago. We're going to chat with Kyla Kit Wilson. I heard that she has a nice netball program coming up sometime next week. So we're going to hear from her as well. We're going to hear from Olympian, Mr. Sheldon Cook, so that he was recently inducted as a coach with Zenith. We're going to hear about him as well. Hear his thoughts about the recent performance of the team out there in the World Champs, and of course the upcoming Commonwealth Games. In fact, the Commonwealth Games started tonight. Yeah, I think the opening ceremony took place, in fact, happening all now. But we're going to get some more information on that. And I'm going to be chatting as well online with Mr. Anthony Roy, who told that he's a scout for footballers, student footballers. So if you're interested in getting your child or children out there in the US on a scholarship, you don't want to miss that interview with Mr. Anthony Roy. And we're going to hear from Mr. Kelvin Morris talking about his district's Sports and Family Day come Monday. So lots in store on Inside the Game. And of course, as I said before, on my lonesome tonight, but we're going to have this show nonetheless. Coach Kami under the weather. And of course, it's been a wonderful week of sports. I really... I spent my week, enjoying the World Championships. Another medalist champs for Trinidad and Tobago, but I still believe that we did well. I've been telling people that to get to the World Champs and even the Olympics, it's an achievement. Yes, you'll want to see our athletes on the podium and hear the national anthem and all these different things, but to get there is an achievement. And I think, we have some really nice young athletes coming through. Once again, we saw Jeremy Richards, leaving it out there. I was really hoping that by the 4x4 team would have actually gotten us a medal. I remember some years ago we saw Lalong Gordon anchoring Trinidad and Tobago to goal, and of course also in the World Champs. But it wasn't to be this time around, and I'm still happy and I'm pleased with the performances of the team. Hopefully, in the Commonwealth Games, we can rejoice as a nation, seeing our athletes on the podium. And of course, I want to also congratulate Orlando James. Yes, of course, I can't not talk about cricket. Orlando James out of Wim Tobago, the lone Tobago player on the national under-17 cricket team. Yes, Orlando, in his last game there, he made 79 from 97 balls, and I think he got 2 catches as well, and was actually adjudged the man of the match in that game. Trinidad and Tobago finished 4th, but still, I have to big up my Tobago boy, the lone player there. He's now off to St. Vincent with the national under-19 team, so he's doing big things. And of course, the village of Wim, I think you guys should be very proud. The stigma when it comes to Wim being a so-called bad area, but he's been following in the footsteps of his brother Joshua James. And as you know, Joshua James would have played for the West Indies on the 19 team, represented Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 as well. And there is Orlando James, inspiration right in his home, playing for the Trinidad and Tobago on a 17 team. And of course, he's now going across there for the under 19 team. So he would have had a really good tournament with the bat. He got a score of 41 as well. He bowled. I think he got a score of 2 wickets for 30 runs in his first game. And, he got some good catches as well. And they really appreciate his talent. And coming from Tobago, that's a huge accomplishment, I must say, because we have been looking, to get more players from Tobago on the national team. And it's no secret that, some people believe that, we have been sidelined and not given the opportunity to represent. But Orlando James is one to look out for, and remember the name Orlando James, not Carlos Bradford. Orlando James. Right, so yeah, so I mean, we have sports camp as well happening throughout Tobago, Mariah, Canaan, Shaw Park, who again, Mount Pleasant as well. So the youngsters are engaged. I know it's going to end tomorrow, and usually when they end, they have a nice big eat up and drink up. And I'm going to be at Mariah. I can tell you my 2 weeks at Mariah has been really entertaining, just to see the youngsters come out there and enjoy the different sporting disciplines. At Mariah, we have golf, football, track and field, and cricket. And we have been rotating the sport, so the youngsters, they have been enjoying the different disciplines. And, you know, it's good that they are exposed at this age and not just home, you know, playing video game and giving their parents trouble. So, yeah, so it's been a really good sporting week here in Tobago. We are at the inside the game. We have been in and around, getting the different information to share with you. So that also we have tennis happening at the Shaw Park Hard Courts, the RBC Junior Tennis Tournament happening down there. So, you know, something for everybody. If you're not interested in sports camp, you can go out there and take in the tennis. Also, the Wolf, that's the Women's Football League, also taking place here. We have 3 Tobago teams in the group in Tobago. I think the last score I saw, Tobago Chicas still unbeaten, you know, topping the table, 4 wins on the trot, 12 points. And they would have defeated Black Panthers 7-1 in their recent game. So, yeah, football, cricket, you know, tennis, all the different things happening. But tonight, if you're just joining us, we're gonna have we're gonna hear from Kyla Kit Wilson, Sheldon Cook, Olympian, Anthony Roy, and Mr. Kelvin Morris. So we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back, and of course, our first interview will be Mrs. Kyla Kit Wilson talking about her netball camp at the Shaw Park Hard Court, and of course also in Roxpo. Remember, interactive, entertaining, and informative. Stay tuned.
Let's go! Have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
An aside tournament powered by the Bigger 90. The ultimate football tournament starts here. It's the Ministry of Sport and Community Development's 7-a-side tournament powered by Red 96.7 FM. Rep your community in the battle for the Small Gold Championship with over $40,000 in cash and prizes to be won. Get ready to take the field, men and women, to challenge the teams from communities across TNT. Visit the Red 96.7 Facebook page or email us at red96football@gmail.com for more registration details. The Ministry of Sport and Community Development's 7-a-side tournament powered by the Bigger 96. Forged from the love of sport.
The area representative for Darrell Spring WIM, Kelvin Morris, invites you to his inaugural District Sports and Family Day. On August 1st, 2022, we meet at the Idlewild Recreational Grounds from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a day of fun and excitement. It's tug of war, football, aerobics, bouncy castle, and much more, with lots of prizes to be won. You don't want to miss it. Darrell Spring, WIM, Tobago, come out in your numbers. It's the inaugural District Sports and Family Day on the Idlewild Recreational Grounds, August 1st, hosted by your area representative, Mr. Kelvin Morris.
Let's go!
Yes, welcome back. Remember, you are inside the game on Tobago Updates and Tobago Sports Live. And remember to share the live. And if it is that you want to be inside the game, you can feel free to send your voice note, clean voice notes to the number 284-6597. That number again, 284-6597. Send your voice notes. We want to hear from you. All right? You may have a burning or pressing issue that you want to air that we may not be discussing. We are free and willing to hear from you send your voice notes. Remember, clean as possible. But of course, we have been joined, our first interview here tonight, because I'm so happy to be on set with this young lady, someone I look up to since in my school days at Scarborough Secondary. And it's so good to be here tonight, joined by the beautiful Mrs. Kyla Kit Wilson. Thank you so much for joining us on Inside the Game.
Thank you for having me.
You look lovely, I must say.
Thank you very much.
Is that netball keeping you that young?
Well, I'm hoping so.
So Kyla, I mean, I'm sure that your name is like a household name here in Tobago because, I mean, since I've been going to Scarborough Secondary, I graduated in 2001, and I've been hearing about Kyla Kit and netball and basketball.
Yes.
But I'm sure that some persons in Tobago may not know who is Kyla Kit Wilson. You care to share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, as I said, my name is Kyla Kit Wilson. I'm a wife and mother of one son. I reside in Signan Hill, alumni of Scarborough Secondary.
Yeah,
Bleed
of course.
Blue.
Yes.
Right. Past netballer. Due to injury, that went over to administration,
Right.
and then realized that the coaching is lacking.
Right.
So then decided to start giving back in coaching, and that was what I've been doing for quite some time now, coaching.
So you are now Coach Kyla. You're
Coach
now
Kyla. I'm no longer just Kyla. Hey,
Yeah.
Kyla. I said, Miss Coach Kyla.
So is there any particular age group that you coach, or you you coach throughout? Juniors,
Well,
seniors?
I started off with our club that original Blazers. That was formed
Yeah.
in Scarborough Secondary
Yeah.
when they had the teacher strike, and
Yeah.
we love netball so much that we decided, listen, we're playing, we're quite underage,
Yes.
and we needed a teacher to sign. So Miss Ruthlyn Antoine, who I'm forever
grateful.
grateful to.
Yes.
Miss Ruthlyn
That's my
Antoine.
PE teacher, my PE
Yes,
teacher
I
in
am
Scarborough Secondary.
forever grateful to Ruthlyn Antoine.
Yeah.
And she signed our form
Yeah.
for us, so we no longer could have gone as SSS Blazers. SSS, which is Scarborough
Yeah.
Sec. So we said, well, SSS Blazers,
So you
because we
registered the
beaten
club.
everybody.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Registered SSS Blazers, we were formed and dominated netball since high school to present.
Yeah.
We have
And-
produced the most national players
Right.
out of Blazers in Tobago present.
And you care to name some of those national
Of
players?
course, we proudly boast of persons like Kemba Duncan, who is
Right.
currently out
Yeah,
in Birmingham.
We're going to touch on Kemba
Right.
and
We have
Dale in a
Anicia
bit.
Batiste,
Right.
Sherry Ann Patrick, Ayana Job, well, myself back in the day. We have Ninka George, Ninka Thomas, Phoebe Warner,
Yeah.
a lot, Joel Daniel, Kalia, 2008, female athlete of the year,
Yeah.
TH8. We have a number of them, at least 15.
And the Blazers Club is still active today and
Of course.
still producing.
Of course, yes.
You guys are based, based at Shaw Park.
Shaw Park, we live there.
You live in Shaw Park? Yes,
We live there.
I can attest to that because, I mean, once I pass on Shaw Park, I always see Kyla there
Yes.
doing a thing. And Kyla, in
there.
terms of netball, I'm hearing about Blazers, of course, producing all these national players. But the state of netball in Tobago, I mean, compared when you guys were really active at Scarborough Sec and beating people, compared then and now.
Very different, very different. We had a moment where netball kind of died down, where you probably were getting no players on a national team. And then we started back that resurgence and work went into it. And 2014, Miss Ruthlyn Antoine, myself, and Joan Bedlow, and so we
Right.
came
Miss
together.
Bedlow, yes, boy, my
right?
Joan.
Taking over from the Archers, which we have to give
Yeah.
credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
They would have held the ground for netball
Yes.
for all these years. So we took over from them in 2014. And then we started to see a resurgence on the
Right.
number of teams being registered back in Tobago, the amount of players being selected for national trials. And so we went from Kemba being the lone player
Yes, yeah,
on national for
yeah.
years.
And then she come and got that injury.
Correct.
And, okay.
Right? And then the numbers start growing. We went from 1 to 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, and then COVID come and happen.
And COVID come and
We had such great plans for 2020.
Yeah.
We were planning on getting 9 players on that national team.
So, and what's happening today? Are you still, we back out playing?
We back out,
Yeah, so
but
what's happening
we're
today?
having a bit of challenge in terms of funding. All
Right.
these businesses are crying out. They're crying out of they don't have money to give us. We have been working,
Yeah.
trying, right? So we're hoping. Of course, we may not
Right.
have anything grand
Right.
this year, but we're hoping 2023 is going to be
Yeah.
another grand year, just as how we ended in 20.
Yeah, and hopefully 2023 you may be able to open your league in the new indoor facility.
As well as hoping that something is brought with the announcement from the
Commonwealth Games.
Games, the minister, hopefully Tobago is blessed with something.
So and in terms of that indoor facility, you guys are eagerly awaiting the coming on stream of that facility.
Marcus.
Yeah. Since Scarborough said they're waiting on it, right?
We're waiting on it, right? But we willing to play netball anyway.
Anyway, yes.
We play netball.
But in terms of predictability of scheduling, I mean, you want that predictability with indoor facility.
That is what it will benefit us with, where we're able to say, okay, we're going to have this game on this day at that time, rain or sun.
Yeah.
Because we inside.
Yes.
You know, so yes, we eagerly anticipate that.
Yeah. And you must be so proud seeing the number of players from Tobago that would have been selected for the national team currently out there in the UK to participate in the Commonwealth Games.
The feeling is, I can't begin to express that feeling because to see the national coach being selected from Tobago. Look, I'm talking on my goosebumps raising, right? To see that Kemba went from being a player all these years to working her way all the way up, earning her position as coach.
What we're going to come to the other players, but what do you think separates Kemba from the other coaches, quote-unquote coaches? Because I can tell you, right, and as I mentioned before the break, with Orlando James being the lone Tobagonian, we know the challenges when it comes to national teams and Tobagonians. And Kemba Duncan from Bethel, Tobago, is a national coach. The national coach. Let that sink in.
Yes.
Let that sink in.
Yes.
From Tobago,
Yes.
Kemba Duncan is a national coach.
Yes.
What would you say separates Kemba from the other coaches?
Kemba, being a very personal friend of mine, has a different discipline, a different mindset, a different love to the sport of netball, right? No matter, Kemba and I would be having a regular conversation talking about, but Kemba, I want to, what do you think of this idea, this business idea or something? Netball, the idea, passion is ridiculous. And it pays, of course, and when you genuinely have a passion for something on the inside, it comes.
Yeah, and there's a saying, and I'm not sure if this is how it goes. Once you are doing something you love, you don't have to work a day in your life.
You're correct.
Yeah, that's the sin. And what of the other players? We have Oprah Douglas, Anissa Batiste, and for some strange reason,
over. The manager is also from Tobago.
Yes, I'm going to come to that. I'm going to come to that because she's my co-worker as well.
Okay, right.
And I just can't pronounce her second name, but I guess you can help me with this one.
Jeresia McCrackney.
Sherisha McCrackney.
Right? Better known as Ricey.
Better known as Ricey.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have had your opportunity to coach any of those players?
No, I would have played with Kemba back in school. Anicia would have, in the beginning, played under the junior when we were Blazers. Right. Ricey is from a different club.
Right. Which club is she from?
Ricey would have played with Police at one time.
Okay. So bigger police.
And she would have played with Matrix at one time, I think.
Okay,
right?
So big up to Matrix as well. Yeah, so I mean, when I heard the announcement of the Tobagonians on the team, I mean, me being from Tobago, I felt really good. And of course,
there's
my co-worker,
Oprah Douglas.
Oprah as well.
Yeah, Oprah is Blazers. So
yeah.
out there we have Blazers being Oprah Douglas, Anicia Batiste, and Kemba Duncan.
And of course, we have Ashley Gall as the manager. So you have coach and manager.
Yes.
You have players and administrators as well. And
correct.
That's testament to what?
We on the rise.
We on the rise.
We on the rise.
And of course, we're talking about on the rise. I mean, your reason for being here tonight, Nickers Sport Academy. That's
Nickers Netball Academy.
Nickers Netball Academy.
Right, where we do with sport fundamental, but I just named it Netball Academy because zeroing in on that. But it's sport fundamental.
Yeah. So tell us about the Nickers Netball Academy. I mean, the reason behind forming this academy, because you already have Blazers.
Yes.
And what is the need to now have this academy?
Well, Blazers catered, as you said, it came out of Scarborough Secondary, where us as second and third formers, came together. And the focus was always using Scarborough Sec as a feeder for Blazers. That is where we feed from. First form you join, and you come all the way through
succession.
Until succession. So we always have a plan going forward.
That's wonderful. Because you have to start there.
Of course.
Yeah.
But then, after 2018, I'm also the coach of Scarborough Secondary.
Right.
So we would have won the national championship and went to Jamaica. And while in Jamaica, I said, you know what, Jamaica have a secret. We need to find out what this secret is. And had a meeting with a lovely Marva Bernard. She's also the president of the America's Netball. Right? And we had a meeting with her.
So networking happened there.
Yes,
Man.
And I'm asking her, Miss Bernard, what is Jamaica doing that nobody else is doing?
I like that question. I like
right?
that question.
Miss Bernard, what Jamaica doing that we're not doing? Just like, Kyla, my love, Kyla, darling, everybody's her love and darling. She said, you see the picnic program?
The picnic program.
Picnic.
Meaning the junior, the
Get
secondary
down
school
to the
prep.
picnic.
Yes, man. Yes, man.
You have to start down there to get these athletes falling into the sport,
And this is
loving
not
the
just
sport.
for netball, you know.
No,
This
no,
is
no, no.
all the disciplines, yeah?
Correct. Picnic. So they go into all the rural areas and look for these children that look like they have athletic abilities. And they take these children and nurture them all the way up. So then they filter them into different disciplines.
And one very important point is that I'm sure when they go to reach those picnics, they are certified coaches.
Of course.
They are certified coaches.
Of course, yeah.
And we're going to come to this TTOC coaching thing I saw you got as well. Yes. But I still want to get more from your Knickers Netball Academy. I'm seeing, based on the information out there, that you're going to be having a camp at Shaw Park and Oxford. So share more about that.
All right. So Knickers Netball Academy would be having a camp. It was supposed to start Monday gone.
Right.
But we had some challenges. But we kick off the 2nd of August. At Roxborough Hardcourt. We're going to be there from the 2nd to the 5th, right? And then the 8th to the 12th at Shaw Park.
Right, so, you know, that's a unique way to start because, you know, probably you've been from the western end of Tobago. The feeling and the thought most times is to start something down on this side.
No.
I mean, what was the reason behind starting at Roxborough?
We have to give credit where credit is due.
Fantastic. Yeah.
The East have some of the stronger players.
Ah, so you did your scouting. You did, yes.
So Knickers is also going to be using this camp as an opportunity for talent ID. Right. So we're going to see who we have up there.
For Bezos or for Tobago?
Tobago.
For Tobago, right?
My vision is Tobago.
For Tobago, okay.
Right. Yes, I'm doing this under Knickers. But the bigger picture is when they come out under Knickers, we filter them. We could say, okay, we have a club for you to join. If you're better in track, you might be better in basketball. You might be better. So it's hoping that these other, when the camp is finished, the bigger picture is getting these athletes into clubs and not just come and play for 2 weeks and you go back home.
Yes, and so what are some of the things besides netball they will be doing at the camp?
Sport fundamental. We have a host of other. I spent the entire 2019 because I went to Jamaica in 2018, came back with this fire burning, right? And I said, you know what? I'm spending the entire 2019 saving and buying equipment.
Right.
I went and got the club registered and everything and said 2020, boom, we hitting them.
And that's the reason why you're selling the streetwear and the phone as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Kyla sell streetwear and phone too, you know. I mean, as fundraiser as well. And I mean, this is an ambitious young lady. And if it is that they need streetwear and phone,
every weekend.
Every weekend.
Every
so
weekend.
She will leave her number at the end of the interview so you can contact her for your Tobago streetwear and Tobago phone.
Yes.
Right? So Kyla, I mean, who can attend this Knickers Netball camp?
Initially, I wanted to have it from 7 years to 18.
Right.
But I have persons as 4-year-old asking if they could send a child. I had one 4-year-old start Saturday gone.
Right.
And let me tell you, she had the entire camp going. So I'm willing to go as low as 5, right? 5 years old, all the way up to 18. You're welcome and free to come to the camp. And it's not just limited to girls.
Oh, right.
So if boys, it has nothing to do with gender. Right? You come because it's sport fundamental.
Yes, I love it.
Right? So it's open to gender.
And who are some of the other persons behind the scenes assisting you with the program, or is just Kyla Kit Wilson alone?
Well, I must give credit to Oprah because when I'm not available and she is not training in Trinidad, she would have held the ground for me and coach my girls for me on a Saturday mornings because it's all week.
So you have a coaching program on Saturdays as well?
Yes, I have a coaching program from 7 a.m. for 12-year-olds all the way up to 18, and then 9 a.m. from, well, now 4 years, all up until 12.
Fantastic.
Until 11.
And how has your response been to this program?
It is very good. It may not be a big camp, right? But I'm very satisfied. I'm very comfortable with what I'm getting because, of course, if you have 5 and 6 people attending, you could then zero in and give that individual undivided attention to them. However, the 7 a.m., I have about 15 of them.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I have about
all
15
age
of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, somebody watching this interview right now and they want to sign up. What should they do to sign up?
I live at Shaw Park. So anytime you're
Right.
passing Shaw Park,
Right.
Chances I am there.
Yeah. This is
You
the
could
afternoon
stop in.
time. Afternoon.
Yes, in the evening
Right.
period after my job.
Right.
And or they can contact me 683-7720. Right. or 683-7720 or Nickers Netball Academy.
Yeah, there's on social media.
Social media.
Right, and of course you can check out for the sweeper as well when they call. So
Yes.
you can call to register and actually sweeper as well.
My mom makes the best pole. My mom that makes the pole.
Yeah.
Right? They love the pole.
Yeah. You know, and as I said before, she's very ambitious. And Kyla, as we wrap the interview here, I saw recently I saw a picture of you receiving an award from TTOC, that's the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee.
Yes.
And something to do with instructors.
Yeah.
Just share a bit about that certificate.
Well, I would have as I said, 2018, the idea, 2019, raising money, buying equipment, putting everything in place. I did everything from poles, everything I purchased.
Yeah.
And 2020, COVID happened, and I was like, I'm bored.
Yeah,
I'm
ambitious.
usually on the go.
Yes.
And I saw TTOC had, Kelsey would have sent me a link, Kelsey Toussaint, that's my very good friend,
Kelsey
Zenith
Toussaint,
Athletic Club, right?
Yes.
And she would have sent me a link.
You're going to hear from Zenith
She would have sent me a link that they have in this course or whatever. So I said, well, let me start.
Yeah.
And once I started these courses with TTOC,
so
I
it's
was
a build-up of courses.
just doing.
What were some
and
of those courses?
Certified courses. We have like LTAD.
Right.
We have administration.
Right.
I also did
all dealing with sports.
All dealing with sport, not netball specific. But I also did courses with AFNA, IFNA. So I'm certified across the board. I use the time to ensure that I'm certified, you know, you name it, just being certified to understand every level of being administration and coach.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you try to certify yourself, get a greater appreciation for the sport, especially being a coach. There are some persons, they think because they have played the game that they are coaches. No. I believe that the sport is evolving and there are new tricks you need to learn, right?
Marcus, the way I was trained back then
it's not the same.
Is definitely not the approach you would have now. Sports has come down to a science.
Yes.
You have to understand sport is now a science. You don't need to have an athlete out there running 2 and 3 and 4 hours training. You calculate it. You have your periodization chart based on what the athlete is going to do, when competitions are, and you plan that athlete's schedule. Perfect performance you're expected to get out of them.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic, Kyla. I continue to be impressed by you and inspired because I myself trying to find my way when it comes to being certified in all these different things to impart knowledge.
But the TTOC, I must give them credit for all the courses. So when I did all the courses with them, I was just home at afternoon and could you send me your passport information?
Yes.
I'm like, for what?
Yeah, and you're off.
I was off in a matter of 3 days.
Opportunities.
Right, and to certify me based on all the courses I would have done with them, the grades I got and so, they selected and said, listen, we need to take you to the next level because we are now doing a high performance program with the TTOC. So we are handpicking coaches across Trinidad and Tobago and sending them out there to deliver. So I am now that person for Tobago.
Fantastic.
I'm hoping soon that we're able to run courses in Tobago and have more persons certified.
So the only person from Tobago
as far as I'm aware, yes.
Under the TTOC banner, Kyla Kit Wilson. Congratulations.
Thank
Kyla,
you.
Of course, you know, it's always nice chatting.
Yes.
Right? And there's never enough time when we get together talking about sport. But I know before you go, I must get from you, what are our chances in this Commonwealth Games? What are our chances, Kyla? What are our chances?
We inside.
I mean, we're up against some top 10 teams.
Of course.
I think you're playing England as well.
Our first matchup is against England.
God.
Listen to me. But we are resilient.
You're resilient. Yes, I like that.
Right? We are resilient.
Yeah.
We are led by a very good coach, a very experienced coach, a very good management team. We have great players. And I expect that our girls, no matter what come up against there, they are going to perform.
Yes.
I expect high expectations from them.
Yes, so you heard it from Kyla, right? She's not going to say what they're going to finish, but she expects that they're going to put their best foot forward.
Performance,
and leave everything on the court. Kyla, before you go, I mean, you want to share any final information to persons interested in getting in touch with you on your camp and all these different things?
All right. What I want persons is to use the opportunity to come out and support the camp. Send your children out. Your children have been sitting, not moving for 2 years. Have your children come out to the camp. It's very cheap. It's $250.
$250, yeah.
You're getting your T-shirt. You're getting hydration.
Right.
You have a grand finale at the end where you will be given certificates,
Right.
Medals.
Fantastic.
Right?
Yeah.
Have the children register and come out and be active. Right? It will benefit them, trust me.
Yes.
So, right, so it's Nickers Netball Academy Sports Camp. We 2nd to the 5th.
In
Roxborough.
Sidway Sporting Complex car park, right?
Yes.
Right.
8th to the 12th,
Yeah.
Shaw Park.
Fantastic. And if you need more information, you can get it on the Facebook page.
Yes, or you could
Nickers.
call me, yes,
Yes.
683-7720.
Yeah, fantastic. Right, so of course we have been chatting here on Inside the Game with Kyla Kit Wilson, certified coach when it comes to netball. Of course, she's having her Knickers Netball Academy camp. First, inaugural camp here in Tobago. She's been around a long time with Blazers coaching, but of course she decided that she's going to have this academy here in Tobago. Roxborough, of course those in the east, and of course down on this side you can join. Yeah, so stay tuned. We're going to have more interviews lined up for you guys. Remember, we are Inside the Game on Tobago Sports Live and Tobago Updates. Informative, interactive, and of course downright entertaining. Stay tuned. Be right back.
Let's go!
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
The ultimate football tournament starts here. It's the Ministry of Sport and Community Development's 7-a-side tournament, powered by Red 96.7 FM. Rep your community in the battle for the Small Gold Championship with over $40,000 in cash and prizes to be won. Get ready to take the field, men and women, to challenge the teams from communities across TNT. Visit the Red 96.7 Facebook page or email us at red96football@gmail.com for more registration details. The Ministry of Sport and Community Development's 7-a-side tournament, powered by the Bigger 96. Forged from the love of sport.
The area representative for Darrell Spring WIM, Kelvon Morris, invites you to his inaugural District Sports and Family Day. On August 1st, 2022, we meet at the Idlewild Recreational Grounds from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a day of fun and excitement. It's tug of war, football, aerobics, bouncy castle, and much more, with lots of prizes to be won. You don't want to miss it. Darrell Spring, WIM, Tobago, come out in your numbers. It's the inaugural District Sports and Family Day on the Idlewild Recreational Grounds, August 1st, hosted by your area representative, Mr. Kelvon Morris.
Let's go!
Yes, welcome back to Inside the Game, live on Tobago Updates and Tobago Sports Live. A really nice discussion there with Kyla Kit Wilson talking about Knickers Netball Academy. And I'm really hoping that parents take the opportunity to send the child or children out to this academy. I know that most persons have been involved with the sports camp, but sports camp ends tomorrow, and you're still looking for something sport-oriented. You can sign your charges up for this netball, this Knickers Netball Academy. I'm really happy that she focused not only on the western end of Tobago, and she would have included the eastern end, because oftentimes we tend to neglect those in the east and north of Tobago. And we're hoping that, they will take transportation, they will come down and, do what they have to do at Shaw Park. So it's really good that, the camp is up at Roxborough, and I'm hoping that persons at Charlottesville, Ford, even those in the north side, can come across in the Link Road and take part in the camp. And as she mentioned, it's not just about netball, but you have been taught the fundamentals of sport, and that is quite important. Netball is something I'm very, I don't want to say passionate, but I follow it. I follow it a lot. It's a very interesting sport. It's no longer just for the females. I've seen that Shaw Park many times. I go to Shaw Park. The guys are playing against the females, and the guys most times will be victorious. I'm still standing by for our next guest, Mr. Sheldon Cook, out of the Zenith Athletic Club. Of course, he'll be here tonight talking about his induction to the Zenith Club as a coach. And it's always good that persons who would have represented before can come back and give back to the club and to Tobago. So I'm really looking forward to chat with Mr. Kirk and what he, his mission and vision for the Zenith Athletic Club. You have seen Kelsey Toussaint Reed, coming back from college. Sometimes I'm amazed that, she has the time to still give back as a coach, a mother, she's a wife, an engineer as well. And let me say good night to Kelsey. She should have been here tonight, but I'm guessing that she's a bit tired from her coaching duties. So we're gonna hear from Sheridan. I want to also hear from him about the Trinidad and Tobago not having somebody represented in the 800 meters. He's still the national record holder over that distance, and we haven't had someone represented in that discipline. Of course, in 800 meter. Still thankful for the opportunity to see that we have persons going out there and represent Trinidad and Tobago. We're still looking for medals. I remember the TTOC having this hashtag 24 goals, 24 gold by 2024, I believe. I think that probably out of the door now. But sometimes it is not all about medaling, but about participation. But I still believe that Trinidad and Tobago public, those who are sport inclined, right? There are some who are bandwagonists. They're not too sure what's happening until they see and hear people talking about it. But those who are really entrenched with sports in Trinidad and Tobago, who have been following our athletes, I know that you guys, you have seen it over the years, and you believe that we can do better as a country where sport is concerned and the development of sport. Kyla spoke about her interaction in Jamaica with one of the coaches there, and they spoke about going back to the juniors, starting at the secondary school, starting at the primary schools, and getting the youngsters there interested in sports. And that's why I'm so happy to be involved in this sport camp and seeing the talent out there in Tobago. Because most of the guys, the youngsters at the sport camp that I am based at in Mariah, they are from the north side. And most times they're not going to come out to tongue, we call it tongue, and not going to be seen. And I'm really happy to see persons are now giving back their time to ensuring that we develop more athletes and more sportsmen and women here in Trinidad and Tobago. So maybe down the road, 10 years down the road, we can start producing and getting more gold medals. I'm hoping that God spare life, I'm going to be in Paris. And I want to be there, and I want to say, yes, I've seen that gold medal performance from who? Somebody here in Tobago. And I'm really hoping that, from coming out of this World Championship, that we don't really come along too hard on the athletes. They are now going to set up camp at the Commonwealth Games, and I'm really hoping, given the fact that we have a really large contingent, I know that we're going to be performing in 12 disciplines, and I'm hoping, in fact, I know that we're going to do something. We're going to do something special. I was really impressed with the form of Jeremy Richards, in the 200 meters, and he did really good in the 4x4, and I was hoping that in the 4x4 at least he would have gotten a medal there, but so it goes sometimes. But the World Champs was a really competitive one. So we saw world records. We saw athletes getting medals for the first time, and it's showing that some countries are involving where sport is concerned. Not too sure what they are doing differently to us. I still believe that the funding is there for the athletes through different incentive programs, but it comes down to you as an athlete. What do you want to achieve? Personal responsibility. And I'm sure, I'm really, really sure that they are seeing the Jamaicans, they're seeing the Bajans, they're seeing all the Caribbean islands doing good. The athletes are doing good. And they're not doing too in terms of development. They're not too far from us, but it comes down to who wants it more, right? Yeah, so, I'm hearing that to my producer, we have a clip to show here. Yeah. So I'm seeing that we do have Mr. Sheldon Cook in the studio, so we're going to chat with him a bit. But before we get to Sheldon, we have a clip for you guys. Yeah.
Trinidad and Tobago, all three of their medalists from 2018 set to return. Milshel Ai and Jareem Richards defend their 100 metre and 200 metres titles. They are the flag bearers too. In the pool, Dylan Carter expecting another battle with South African Shad Leclos in the men's 50 metre butterfly, just beaten to silver back in 2018. And the cycling team includes Nicholas Paul, world track silver medalist from last year. Trinidad and Tobago out to make an impression.
The crowd.
There you see the Trinidad and Tobago team, of course, in the stage. Tonight is the opening ceremony of the Commonwealth Games. Obviously, we off the bat tomorrow with gymnastics. I can't remember the name of the person performing there, but our first event in terms of Trinidad and Tobago will be gymnastics. But of course, I'm joined by an Olympian, Mr. Sheldon Cook. You were here this morning.
Yes, I was definitely here this morning, and I'm really and truly rocking all the brand that Zenith has to offer me at this point.
And I'm happy that you chose to come on inside the game talking about sport, because I mean most persons associate you as a sportsman, right? Still, right?
All right, hopefully.
And not events.
Well, it's going to be so. Yeah.
So Sheldon, you are now a full-time coach with Zenith?
Right, correct.
I should say full-time?
Well, you could say beyond full-time, because I'm going to be more than just a coach to Zenith, because the concept and the idea is to really and truly push Zenith in a direction beyond any other club, not just in Tobago, but in Trinidad and Tobago.
So tell me more about your role as a coach and more.
Well, I'll start off with stating my role as the PRO.
Right.
And it's really and truly to do exactly what I'm doing here.
So you are PRO / coach?
/ coach,
and mentor.
Right? Correct.
Right.
So right now the focus is really and truly to get as much people sign up with the Zenith Athletic Club as possible, to give them a better life, a better opportunity.
And Zenith is the best club for that.
And Zenith is most definitely the best club for that, because a number of people would have gone through Zenith. Zenith would have been the club that would have produced so much Olympians, so much Commonwealth participants and so forth, So it is only fair to say that Zenith is one of the top clubs in Tobago. So as the PRO, I'm here to share that with the general public and with the parents and so forth, and bring some level of confidence in what Zenith has to offer and the delivery.
So why now? Because, I mean, I showed you had the opportunity before to get involved. I mean, you represented Tobago under the banner of Zenith, and you have been back a while, right?
Right.
I mean, why now?
Well, I believe everybody and everything has its time, and sometimes we tend to rush things when it's not necessarily its time. And I remember Miss Kelsey Toussaint Reed would have asked me to join Zenith a while back as a coach, and I kept on telling her, no, I'm not ready for this. I can't deal with kids these age. I'm going to be a little bit too harsh on them and so forth. But then I went to a couple of meets, and she continuously asking me when I'm going to come and join the team. And to be very honest, other people ask me to join team, but the only team,
other clubs.
Well, yes, and I'm not just talking about other clubs in Tobago, other clubs outside of Tobago. Would have asked me to join team, but I think it's only fair that I give back, and a lot of people don't tend to recognize the importance of giving back, give back to Zenith Athletic Club, the best club on the island.
What separates Zenith from the other clubs?
Well, one, we produce Olympians. Two, there's no medals without Zenith.
Right.
So, and we could go down the line, we would have produced so much great athletes, and I'm not just talking about their ability to perform. Just talking as people on a whole, you know, we would have produced people that is now coaches and would have started their own clubs and stuff like that, and it all birthed from Zenith, and it is quite critical that we understand that with a club with the age that it has, and with the foresight that Mr. Gerard Franklin and Mr. Wade Franklin would have had back then in 1980, the year before I was born.
So it's 1980 this club was formed?
Yes. You know, from Mason Hall.
Right.
You know, and it is important for people to understand what these two at the time young men would have had in mind to create something unique, not for themselves, but for Tobago and by extension Trinidad and Tobago.
And is as you mentioned the Franklin brothers there, is this a changing of the baton here?
Well, actually, Kelsey would have shared with me that it is a changing of the baton, where they would be stepping back or a little bit and just pushing it to I guess Kelsey, who is the president,
and Sheridan,
and she's saying and Sheridan. But it's really a good thing that I'm seeing here, because in a lot of organizations we would have recognized that the owners of these organizations still feel the need to control and do everything for themselves. When it is, in order for you to have some level of continuity,
succession,
right?
Yes.
Succession. You need to share that with the rest of people on your team, and giving Kelsey, myself, Don, and the other people on the Zenith Athletic Membership Club, the opportunity to take over is really and truly a unique opportunity for Tobago.
Yeah, I look forward to that as well, because both you and Kelsey are considered young people still.
Right.
And of course, the Franklin brothers would have started this way back in 1980.
Correct.
They were young as well.
Yes.
And look where they would have brought this club, producing Olympians, one like yourself as well.
Correct.
I mean, how has the season been for Zenith?
Well, the season have been great, you know, considering the fact that we would have been down for 2 or so years.
COVID, right?
Zenith would have placed second in the juvenile championship nationally and 4th in the junior. But we have to also take into consideration that Zenith is almost a new club, where we have a lot of 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old. So our juvenile,
you would have returned to the grassroots.
Correct.
Yes,
So our juvenile team is pretty solid.
Right.
So I know for a fact that our future would be solid. Right. We are really and truly trying to work on our juniors and our senior part of the program, and try to encourage those level of athletes to come to Zenith, because we do have what it takes to take them to the other level. Because we are now working with talking with the physiotherapist, the psychologist. We had a psychologist,
the nutritionist as well.
Yeah, everything. Because now we are going to make pros right at home. We are no longer going to wait until they get to school or anything like that. We have what it takes right here, and we're gonna use the resources that we have right here in Tobago to make sure that our athletes excel.
I like that, and as you mentioned, homegrown talent, right? I want to get from you, because I mean, you'd have had a scholarship to
Well, I started off in Kansas City and then went to Auburn University.
Right. And based on your experience there, most of our athletes now hoping that they get scholarship to go across to the US. You think that there's a disadvantage there? Because, I mean, some Jamaicans are staying home, and they are producing, and our athletes are going out there, but we're not getting the medals as some people want it to be. Is there a disadvantage for us here as athletes, producing them here from the juniors, from juvenile junior, come up, and then they go to the university in the US, and then they stay out there?
Well, I won't necessarily say that there's a disadvantage. There are advantages and disadvantages in most things that we do. And I believe that because of some of the resources that is necessary locally, or the mindset that is necessary locally to take us to the other level, we have not fully developed that as yet. Because I'll tell you, when I went to Kansas City and while I was at Auburn, Dwight York Stadium would have been a grand stadium to train in. I was jumping over holes. And a lot of people would think that, oh Lord, we don't have a stadium here, there, and everywhere in order to go and perform. It's really and truly the mindset. So we have to change our mindset where those things are concerned. Now, there are great opportunities leaving the island. Now, there are great opportunities in terms of your tertiary education and things like that. More people seeing you and so forth.
And then you get to train with like-minded people as well.
Yes, and that is very critical, and I was going to get to that. We need to understand, in order to be great, you need to train with great trainers. So I had athletes that was just basically my training partners, you know, because at meets they wouldn't perform as well. And we have to make sure that we have a group of kids or even adults that's working together with the same mindset, because now you have a situation where somebody might be like, boy, you have a fight down the road, we're going on party. The next one will be like, hold up, I have training tomorrow. I'm not going to do that, you know. So it's critical to hang out with the people that's going in the same direction. And you could consider that in anything that you do in life. You know, you hang out with the people that you believe is going to continuously push you in the direction in which you want to go.
And so I want to bring it to my next point, which I find is amazing, right? That since yourself, and you are still a national record holder in 800 meters. Isn't that it's so hard to be like Brian record?
Well, it's a mindset. Because you know, some of the workouts that I see 800 meter athletes do.
But do we actually have 800?
Well, not as much. I believe there are other clubs on the island that have been working with some 800 athletes that it could be quite promising, but when you look at the workouts themselves, it doesn't build a monster that you really need to be a 800 meter athlete.
So in 10 years time, let me say 10, I'll give you 10 years because you know start, right? You know the coach of Zenith. So we are saying in 10 years time, we can see some 800
Well, I'll correct you and say in less than 5 years, we're going to have...
So you hear the favor from the man tonight, in less than 5 years.
Definitely.
We're going to have some 800 meters.
We're going to go back to grassroots.
Yes, man.
We're going to go to the communities and talk, because both Kelsey and myself would have started really late. The Franklin brothers would have found Kelsey perhaps in about third form, and found me in perhaps fifth or going to repeat.
Naturally talented.
And we would have made national teams, and people would have been questioning whether or not we are too old. And what was surprising is that after I got my scholarship and head out to college, my coach looked at me and was like, yes, we love you because you are under-trained. You know, and that is something they could work with.
When it's under-trained?
And when they say, it's basically that you have not yet met your fullest potential based on your training and so forth. Because I was coming from a situation where a workout maybe 5 or 6 200 meters and go into a situation where my coach would give me 200 meters to do with less than 30 seconds rest, you know. So the workouts and everything was totally different, but I personally would say this to you and to anybody in Tobago: if you can make it in Tobago, you can make it anywhere. You know?
So what terrain? I mean,
well, the terrain is perfect. You know, we have great weather and a nice terrain to build strength and endurance and so forth, and we just need to utilize it.
Are you at all concerned about the Trinidad and Tobago's performances? I mean, the last, I think we had world champs, no medals. This one, no medals as well. And now we're going into Commonwealth Games. You at all concerned that we're not being able to get onto the podium?
Well, I won't say I'm totally concerned. Now I want to give credit to the athletes that go out there. From the time you make a national team, you did us proud.
I spoke about that.
Because firstly, we need to understand that these athletes are like walking billboards for Trinidad and Tobago. As soon as they step on the track and they say Trinidad and Tobago an athlete, they are promoting Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
So for that, first thing first, I'm going to give you credit. Nike, Adidas, and all these shoe companies pays you thousands of dollars so that you can step on the track and they just see their shoes on your feet or on their bodies. So first, let me just say, I'll say congratulations to all the athletes that go out there and work their hardest. You know, sometimes it's a very long season, and sometimes it could be a very painful season in terms of the injuries and so forth. I think that, and if I'm to base it on what I'm seeing happening in a lot of the clubs locally here, a lot of the clubs are going back to building their programs. Right. And so I believe we need to give it some time. Yes, we would have exiting the scene would have been like Kellyanne and the Simoy and the Rennies and so forth, just for the Tobagonians that we would want to highlight.
So Akani and those coming up.
Yes, and we have a lot of great athletes that's coming up. So I believe that once support is important, once we continue to support them and motivate them and not make them feel as though, you know, I'm wasting my time or I'm just doing this all alone. Let the country get on their back. Let us put them in a position where they cannot return. And if you know, let's force them to perform great with encouragement. You know, so though we may not have received any medals recently, I believe that the performances are those to remember, and we should collect data from those performances to work towards getting better performances in the future.
I don't think you could have said it any better. As you mentioned there, just getting to those championships, it's an achievement. Obviously, I mean, Trinidad and Tobago very impatient society, and they believe that, I mean, Jamaica getting medals, Barbados getting medals, only Trinidad and Tobago, you know. But I mean, everything in our time, right? Sheldon, always good having you talking sport. Just before you go, I mean, talk about your recruitment. How can persons get in touch with Zenith?
Well, I like everybody in Tobago, and we even encouraging Trinidad I remember back then we had a few people coming over to Tobago just to train because it's lovely and safe to train over here. And we are encouraging that type of tourism. We're encouraging that type of tourism also, you know, so you all come on over. But we are asking all parents to check out our Facebook pages, and that is Zenith Athletic Club on Facebook, Zenith Athletic Club on Instagram. We also have a link there so that we can start the process of doing the online registration.
What age group is started?
We are starting at 6.
At 6, okay.
And we are going to heaven. Right?
And where are you guys based?
Well, currently we are based at Signal Hill, and we also have a training site.
That's at the secondary school?
At the secondary school. And we also have a training site at Bell Garden. Right. But we are definitely going to work on some better situations, and those situations we're going
to... This sounds very exciting.
Yes, we're going to make it known. I believe that Zenith need to go home.
And home is where?
Home is home. And everybody that knows Zenith knows where home is. And I believe it's a great situation for them to really and truly expand. So parents, please register your children. We are really trying to drive getting some of the more senior athletes coming in, 16, 17, 18. 18, you're still young. We're going to make it work for you. We have plan coming up very soon, a screening for the older ages. So if you think or you're not too certain that you could run fast or you have some type of potential, we're going to invite you to come to that screening, and we could share with you what we can do with you after we see you. You know, we're trying to make the thing very official, very open to the general public. Even you, Marcus, you can come and try.
Masters, I can enter Masters.
Yes, most definitely.
You have cricket ball in Masters.
But we are encouraging everyone to come and be a part of this great organization, this safe organization, and this athlete-centered organization.
I love it. PRO for you, right? Public Relations Officer, yes. So, of course, we have been chatting with Sheldon Cook, now PRO/coach, mentor of Zenith Athletic Club. I know Kelsey is smiling from ear to ear because I know that she's been trying very hard to get you on board. I know that you will try to get others on board as well. You know, always good to come and give back to those that would have made a name for you. You know, so, of course, we are inside the game. Yes, 9 o'clock. Wow, we still have 2 interviews lined up here, but obviously once you start talking sports, time runs out on you. Informative, interactive, and downright entertaining. We take a break. We come right back.
area representative for Darrell Spring Wim, Kelvon Morris, invites you to his inaugural District Sports and Family Day. On August 1st, 2022, we meet at the Idlewild Recreational Grounds from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a day of fun and excitement. It's tug of war, football, aerobics, bouncy castle, and much more, with lots of prizes to be won. You don't want to miss it. Darrell Spring, Wim, Tobago, come out in your numbers. It's the inaugural District Sports and Family Day on the Idlewild Recreational Grounds, August 1st, hosted by your area representative, Mr. Kelvon Morris.
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
Let's go!
Welcome back to Inside the Game Live on Tobago Updates and Tobago Sports Live. Really good conversation there with Sheldon Cook. Really happy that he's back with Zenith Athletic Club. I think it will do good for not just the club but Tobago. Really want to see more persons from Trinidad and Tobago getting involved in 800 meters. Coming out of the World Championship, I really enjoyed those races, 800 and 1500, and of course the 10,000. And Sheldon, our national record holder and Olympian, happy to see him back with Zenith. But of course we have Mr. Roy on the line. I told you that we have football scout. Mr. Roy, you hear me clearly, right?
Yes, I am.
Fine.
You hear me clearly? Good night.
Yes, I'm hearing you good. I'm hearing you. Of course, thank you so much for joining us on Inside the Game.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, man.
Right. I think I missed that one. So that's my producer.
Thanks for having me.
Right,
for having me.
Yes. Yes. Right. So which part of the world are you now?
I am in New Jersey.
I missed that one.
I'm in New Jersey.
New Jersey. So I'm told that you are one of you're responsible for scouting to young student athletes to get out there in the US to enhance their careers. Do you care to share more about your program?
Sure. Well, first, it's an honor to be here tonight to speak with you guys and your listening audience. Thank you so much for having me. I am Coach Anthony Roy. I'm based out here in New Jersey with Essex Community College. Also, I coach full-time at a number of different academies out here, and I have been scouting kids for many years and getting kids into colleges and universities. I am attached to over 200 schools out in the US and getting kids in school, universities, college, junior college, NAIA programs, absolutely free service to get you into schools. And I believe we have about 7 or 8 kids from Trinidad and Tobago. I got into school last year, and I know some of them are returning back from holidays to get back into school. Going through the different process of getting their information and working with kids to give them the proper direction in terms of getting scholarships. There's so many scholarships here in the United States. You know, schools are putting out hundreds of millions of dollars if you were to calculate the money for soccer scholarship here in the United States. So it's a wonderful vehicle for you to get your qualifications and also to live in another part of the world and also develop yourself.
Hey, are you a beneficiary of one such scholarships?
Yes, I was offered a scholarship by through Mr. Alvin Cornell Coaching School. That was many years ago. I was offered a scholarship through him. And I've been in the United States some 24 years. I've been up here in the United States.
Yeah, and you mentioned a while ago that currently you have 7 persons in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Anyone from Tobago specifically?
Yes, we have, I think Mrs. Alexander is her name. She does the high jump, I believe, and she also plays
Jaleese
soccer.
Alexander.
Yes, I was the person responsible. She's at Essex Community College. That's the college that I am based at, and she should be having her first season in soccer this year.
Yeah, and as a scout, what are you really looking for from the student athletes? What are you looking for? You can name some because I'm sure some parents are probably watching this program right now and may want to get their understudies involved in this scouting program.
Well, for starters, we look at discipline. Um, and I want to make it to clarify it. You're a student athlete. It's not like you're an athlete. You're a student athlete. Students come first,
Okay.
studying comes first, and you really have to balance your
Yes.
time in United States here because there's a lot of distractions here, as you know, and time management is critical. It's critical in the United States. You have to be able to study and play soccer, and then you have a number of things around you that, as you know, we call the bright lights. You have to be very careful with the bright lights in the United States, and always keep in mind, why you're here. You're here for a purpose, and you're here for a reason, and performance and stick-wittedness, grit, determination. Because if you really think about it, you're leaving an environment that you have, born and grown, and then you're going into another man's land itself, if we were to call it that. And you may go into school with 2, 3, 1,000 kids, and some of them may not look like you. You might be the only person looking like you.
Yeah.
So how do you make that transition when
Yeah.
you have to go there and make friends? Are you really ready for that? And these are certain things that needs to be taught. It needs to be to be guided along the way. So preparing you for where you're going. And I think that is something I do with a lot of kids, a lot of parents, conversations, time on the phone, working with them through the
Yeah.
process, SATs, the grade point average, getting the kids, physically, mentally, psychologically, and spiritually ready for where they're going. Because this is a lifetime opportunity you get in here. This is where you need to really settle down, buckle down, and you don't have that, let's say, that physical support as you would have it when you in Tobago or you in Trinidad. You are there in a place where you have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
And the only persons you may know there is the coach, and you might only meet the coach maybe a month or so, if so much, before you go to school in the US. How do you make that transition?
And you mentioned that you do all of this for free.
Well, yes, I get kids in. I am. I must smile because that is the question a lot of people ask me,
Yeah.
Anthony. How are you charging for your service? And I tell them, for me to place you in a school is absolutely free.
Wow.
I don't charge to place kids in school. I believe in giving back. I believe in
Yeah.
giving back. I believe in helping my people. And I have been doing this for years with over 200 programs in the United States that I'm attached to in terms of schools and coaches.
Wow.
I have coaches calling, coach, we need coach. And it's not just Trinidad and Tobago. I have kids out to St. Vincent and Grenada and Guyana, all these different places where these different, I'm in discussions with a number of them that they are seeking my assistance in it. And as I said, it's a service that I do that I don't charge kids. It's a lengthy service, to be honest with you, because it's a lot of counseling and guiding and directing kids. Because you for instance, I have kids that I get into school and they call me, well, coach, I'm ready to leave. Which plane do I take to get there? How do I get there, coach? So I have guide them. Okay, we have to go through Miami, and this is the plane we need to catch. We have to go through New York. This is the plane we catch. Coach, I'm going to get I get my I-20. So I'm going to get my student visa. Coach, what is needed? This is the kind of stuff you need. Your bank statement, right? For instance, to discussions with coaches. How do you present yourself when you're speaking to a coach? Because a coach is in another part of the world. you know, and they're doing a Zoom call with you. How do you present yourself? Etiquette.
Yeah.
How do you speak with a coach? Do you look up in the air and scratch your head and that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
It's something you do. You want to make eye contact. You want to
Whoa.
sit properly. You want to be able to carry yourself in a particular manner. Because to be honest with you, a lot of these schools are putting out $60,000-$70,000 for you. And if you were to calculate it, like, go ahead.
Is it just football that you scout for?
Well, presently it's soccer, but I'm getting a lot of requests for different type of sports, collegiate sports, basketball, track and field, and as you know, Alexander is track and field and soccer. So I'm getting a lot of requests. So I'm trying to focus in on soccer right now, and then I would make that step over. Having played soccer before. I know I am one of the Roys. I know you may know Roxborough, in the back of Roxborough.
Oh, so you're from Roxborough?
Well, my family is originally from there, the Roys, right? The Roys are all the way back up in Roxborough, so they are my family up there. And it's an honor. I work with Wendell more too. I know you know Wendell pretty well. Right, I work with Wendell. Wendell is the same thing too, like myself, and I know Wendell a mighty long time. Even Wendell's son, Shaq, who's playing on the national, the US team, he might not remember me, but as a kid, he used to be running through my house in Florida. So you know, it's helping and supporting and giving back. Yes.
How does it work, right? For someone watching this now, is it that the schools will reach out to you, or you have a way in which parents can reach out to you? How does it work?
Well, it works in both ways, because I would say to you that a lot of schools reach out to me. A lot of D1 schools, D2, D3 schools.
What's D1 and D2 and D3?
Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. Like a Division 1 school, you may have the facilities of domes and different places to stay on the compound. Division 2, your scholarship might not be like that. You may get a half a scholarship in terms of where you stay. It might be off compound. Division 3, they don't supply housing on compound, so you may have to take care of your rent. You have the NAIA schools. That is kids that start schools from 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. You have the junior colleges. These are some of the kids that might not be all the way up there in their studies, but they have 2 passes or 3 passes or 1 pass. We can work with them to get them into school. And that is a building block for them in terms of their studies, the junior colleges. Now, not just soccer too, but it's also to preparing these athletes for life. This is important for me, because I know a lot of people say, Coach Roy, you know, I like what you're doing and this is what you're doing. But I explain to a lot of people, I am seeing the person. I'm seeing the individual. When you finish school, you know, you're moving on to something in life. You're getting an opportunity. Soccer is growing in the United States of America. And if I were to give you some information, there's close to 14 million people playing soccer in the United States. It's huge. And if you were to think about it, you have the Barcelonas and the Manchesters and all these clubs coming to America. Why are they coming to America?
It's no longer soccer, it's football.
Yeah, why are they coming to America? Because America is just taking into soccer.
Yeah.
You know, and you find the little kids working. And I work with kids from starting at the age of 2. I work with kids too. From the age of 2, I work at preschools and what we call primary schools and private schools, and then the college, and then I coach senior teams. So my life is based around serving in soccer. And I have a lot of schools now reaching out to me, a lot of principals reaching out to me now. A lot of schools in Trinidad. I know I spoke to a couple coaches in Tobago, and they're mentioning, Coach, we want to get you with our principal because we want you to chat with our principal pertaining working with schools. And I would say to them, it's not a problem. I have no issues with it. We can work together and get your kids into school. There's more. I have more opportunities that I could find student athletes ready to take up.
Yeah.
This is the case right now.
Yeah. Have you ever encountered a student that would have signed up and did not fulfill, the promises that would have made to you?
Well, I could take you a scenario with that where I had a young lady that I sent out to school, and she called me up there and said, Coach Roy, I want to return home. I said, well, why I want to return home? Why you want to return home? She said, Coach Roy, I can't deal with the food that I'm eating here. I
Wow.
can't settle down with that kind of stuff. And I said to her, I said, did we not speak for months? And did I not come to Trinidad and come to your parents at your doorstep and discuss things with you and guide you through the process? And I explained everything to you before you leave to go to school. And I got you prepared. She said, yes, coach, but it's difficult. I say, yes. I said, well, okay. You want to go back home? Okay, cool. What are you going back to? She started thinking. I said, where you used to work before? She said, I work in a certain company. I say, okay. How was that? She said, coach, it was really tough. They were really tough on me. I say, okay. I said, your mom has invested a lot of money in you right now, right? Yes. I said, well, your mom is still investing now. Yes. I said, well, could you put yourself in your mother's position and see how she feels if you want to come back home? And she starts thinking about it, and she starts realizing, it's like you're crossing the Red Sea. There's no turning back.
Yes.
Fear is already drowned. Fear is already drowned. There's no turning
Yeah.
back. You got to build yourself, and you got to find a way to do it. And,
Yeah.
and I don't just get kids into school. I am a supporting cast for kids,
Yeah.
because the kids that I get into school usually will call me and say, Coach Roy, how you doing? This is what I got in school. This is my first year in school. This is how I'm doing, coach. And I maintain relationships. And
Yeah.
I tell parents, you can't pay me for that. Because this is a lot of time and effort and love and passion in terms of what I do, in terms of
Yeah,
school.
and I don't think we here in Tobago, in fact Trinidad and Tobago, can pay you for your services, but I can tell you that we here on Inside the Game, we want to thank you so much for what you have been doing and continue doing what you are doing, because we do have persons here in Tobago with the talent that they want to be exposed and they just don't know how to do it. But with you out there as our guardian angel, we thank you for that. Someone told me before I knew that you were coming on the program. You had a program that was postponed.
Yes, I was doing a camp in, supposed to do a camp in Trinidad, but it's not exactly postponed because we are reshaping that for next month. I'm in discussions with,
Yeah.
believe, Mrs. Blackman, and I believe the Mr. Alfred, I believe. We are putting something together for kids between the ages of 5 and 14. And we are working on a camp in South, Central, and North Trinidad. And then we are doing a camp too. We are looking to put together a camp in Tobago, two different locations.
Yeah.
And so we are presently, working together to get that camp going. Because one of the biggest issues we have in soccer in Trinidad is that we are building a house in Trinidad and Tobago for soccer, but we put in the roof up with no foundation.
Yeah.
There's no foundation when you think
Not just
about
not
it.
just
There's no
soccer.
program.
Not just soccer.
Yeah. There's no program for the kids. There's no continuity and consistent programs and development for the kids. So how do you expect your top athletes to perform the way they're supposed to perform when you are not developing them in that environment from a very young age? And you may need to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So well, I look forward to that
Yes.
program. And I know that you will share the information with Porter and the guys here at Inside the Game, and of course we will get the information out there because I think I need to meet you in person and give you a nice
Yes.
bounce and a shake hand. And as I said, we can't pay you, but every now and then we need persons to come and give back because you said that you'd have benefited from such a program, and you have the expertise now, and you're willing to impart that on this country, beautiful country of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to thank you for taking your time to be with us here. What time is it on your end?
We are the same
Are
Eastern
we same
Standard
time?
Time, so we're still running at the same time as you. And I must say before I go though,
Yeah.
I would love my people to take advantage of it because what is happening now is a lot of Caribbean countries and different parts of the world
Yeah.
are starting to call me to give that service to them.
Wow.
And charity begins at home. I need to take care of my people.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to helping as any way that I can. And coaches could get in contact with me through Mrs. Blackman, I believe. And my company is AR, which is Anthony Roy Student Athlete Soccer Scholarship Academy. Or you could go up on Facebook, Anthony Roy. All my handles are AR, Student Athlete Soccer Scholarship Academy. And you could contact me, and then we could start discussions how we produce your kids and get your kids ready for school. Yes?
Yeah. Mr. Roy, thank you so much for joining us here on Inside the Game. Continue to be safe and continue being the wonderful human being you are.
Thanks, man. Humble servant. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Of course, chatting there with Mr. Anthony Roy. I mean, I can't believe he's actually doing that for free. Yeah, blessings to him. Thankful that Tobagonians and Trinbagonians are benefiting. Yeah, so we're live on Inside the Game. Tobago updates. Yes, informative, interactive, entertaining. When we come back, we're going to chat with Mr. Kelvin Morris. Of course, more about his district game this coming Monday. Stay tuned.
Let's go!
The area representative for Darrell Spring WIM, Kelvin Morris, invites you to his inaugural District Sports and Family Day. On August 1st, 2022, we meet at the Idlewild Recreational Grounds from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a day of fun and excitement. It's tug of war, football, aerobics, bouncy castle, and much more, with lots of prizes to be won. You don't want to miss it. Darrell Spring, WIM, Tobago, come out in your numbers. It's the inaugural District Sports and Family Day on the Idlewild Recreational Grounds, August 1st, hosted by your area representative, Mr. Kelvin Morris.
Let's go!
Mr. Morris. Most times you see him talking politics, but tonight we're talking about sports. What I like, sports. Yes. Sports and Family Day. Inaugural, right?
Yes,
first time
inaugural. First for the district, because of course, you know, we were during the 2020 pandemic and lockdown and all that.
Yes,
so
yes. And I mean, how things coming along? What plans going?
Well, plans are coming along well. You know, I have a really good team of persons, you know, and I look forward to an exciting day of fun family. The whole idea is really to bring families together, bring the community together, camaraderie, creating that bond, and we can all have a day of excitement and, you know, friendly rivalry as well.
What are some of the villages within your area?
Well, the community is quite interesting because you start in WIM.
Right.
You also go through, so you're going to Montgrace Heights, come around to Old Road, then you're going to Glen Road, Montpelier, then Mount Mary, Spring Garden, Pump Mill, Darrell Spring, of course. Darrell Spring is unique because, off the highway, but the left-hand side. But I see all of Darrell Spring as, you know.
So the left-hand side is...
so it's quite, it's quite unique. But I just, it's really, you know, a pleasure bringing people together. You know, as we talk in sports and you're hearing all this, and even this family day, what I remember, and I'm sure if Kellyanne is listening, she would. I remember
Kellyanne
the first,
Baptiste, right?
The first time I saw Kellyanne was in a sports and family day, and because she started to run at a advanced age already in secondary school, and I think I remember it was my cousin Renata. And she came and ran, and from there her career took off.
And she was outstanding.
So you know, so these activities really provide.
Most times you take events within the community itself. You reach persons that you normally will see them on the block. They're not going to come out in the main, right? But You have an event there, probably a greasy pole or 1 meter flat for a bottle or something, and then you see the talent. I mean, I call them on talent, and they just don't want to be like, you know,
it's
the Tobago system.
But even the Tobago story, most athletes in Tobago is really a natural kind of, and they are found in these kind of environments. You might have a small goal tournament, you might have a
I win ball cricket.
And then you see,
So what are some other events we should look forward to on this day?
So we've structured the day to really cater to everyone.
Right.
So we've put in there's a small goal competition that's going to start very early. We inviting teams from the district.
So only teams from within the district can participate.
Yes, we are trying to really, at least for the small goal, first instance is to get teams from the district. You can invite persons from outside to play, but we want the team itself must be a district oriented team. Then we go into the actual fun activities of the day, where you have all the different races, starting with the kids and coming up to other individuals. We'll have some family events. You know, it's really fun. Then we have a kids fun zone, and they will have the treasure hunt, bouncy castle, and all those kind of fun experience for the kids. We have an aerobics burnout for fitness enthusiasts as well. So, you know, and one of the interesting things we're going to have is we're going to have a special prize for the youngest attendee and the oldest attendee. So we're going to, we really cater, we want everybody to come out, both the young, the not so young, and
And all this is happening where?
This is happening at Idlewild Grounds. I know it as what we call Brandon traditionally. And we're going to have a park and ride system as well, starting from 12.
And where's it starting
from? So the park, you can park at the opposite that division of health park there. You can park down there and you will be shuttled up to the grounds, because we know the area is one that may not accommodate. So feel free if you can come, safely park your vehicle, and then we will take you up, and the shuttle is there until the event is over. So we will be shuttled down back as you go.
So, and food and drinks and all these different things happening.
Food and drinks would be, we are giving also, it's about building the community. So rather than, you know, well, one, I can't afford to feed everybody. But on top of that, we're creating an avenue where we have community-oriented vendors. So they would come and have an opportunity to make some money. We're in the pandemic, school is there. Give parents and families an opportunity from the community to, you know, earn an income as well. So we'll have a bar, we'll have food, and I'm saying come out, patronize, and let us build the community of Darrell Spring. In fact, I want to thank the businesses of Darrell Spring Wim, because one of the things I've done and always do is make sure that we have this kind of community-oriented through business, your church, your SBOs, your FBOs, have everybody involved. So the business would have come on board and give good support in terms of making sure that we get the resources.
I remember having a win ball cricket competition in Kinam Monaco. The very first year, I didn't even think of having support from the THA. All the funding came from the community itself. I went around, a man give me a $200 here, $1,000 there, and it
one drop this full bucket.
And it adds up. You know, so it's good to hear that the community is right behind the event.
And I don't know, God probably would have prepared me for this, because you know, when we were in the 6th, I always said there's so many things you can do outside of being in an office. So even now, being in it's still an E, because the systems have been there and the relationships would have been built. So now we can really carry on that, and it's really taking development, because one of the things in terms of sport is where it starts from the community, it starts from home, it starts with the family, even the family support. So it's building that kind of...
You know what I can see happening on Monday? Because Monday is happening, right?
Yes, Monday. Emancipation Day.
Emancipation Day. I can see families coming there, nice, probably a table, some chairs, some may even lay a towel or something, and they come have a picnic and they have a good time.
Of course.
I know, and just...
And you're free to cook your food, it could be like a little family day, family reunion. So families themselves can come in their own and set up your own little table and have the drinks.
Every community should have these events because
fully
we are losing our
endorsed.
communities.
Fully
Neighbors no longer neighbors keeper.
Yes, and sometimes long time you know everybody's name.
Yes, sometimes you don't even know who living in the community. Today you don't even know who living in the community anymore, and we really need to get back to these sports and family days to get the community involved. And I'm really happy that you have taken the opportunity to have this event. I mean, any other event coming out of after this, you plan to have?
Well, because one of the things I've always said is for especially in terms of sport. So I want to see we're gonna have a calendar of sporting events. So inter-district. So we want to move on. We want to have a day. I think we're looking at September the 24th, where we would have an inter-district relay, and we want to involve. So you must have a young, age group kind of thing. So the relay team that is running throughout and it will cover like the entire year. It will be a real relay, and we want to bring that together. We want to have our netball, inter-district netball as well. And I'm hoping that eventually inter-district sports will be built so that we can challenge the winners of these various competitions. We can have the Tobago district events.
I look forward to that. I mean, you have a sporting background as well, and it's good to see that we haven't.
Definitely, because even when I heard Mr. Roy, you were speaking, and that whole experience, I also would have benefited from as a student athlete scholarship playing out in the States, and the kind of things they look at. You must have a balanced kind of arrangement. Your academics have to be sound.
Discipline, you must be disciplined.
And the thing is, you must also maintain a GPA. So your GPA has to be above.
Student first.
And you're going to school normal. You have to train same way normal every day. So it is not just fun and games. The work starts when you get there. So I would hope and encourage Tobagonians, Tobago parents and the athletes to really take that opportunity, because for me, when I went, while we would have had few scouts come, I actually scouted schools, and I was eventually lucky to find one
you were proactive.
proactive. So this opportunity, and I'm surprised it's free.
It's free. Man, boy, I mean, God bless that guy, because I mean the amount of things that he has to do in negotiating.
That arrangement is blessed, and we should be really thankful and capitalize on that. So
so I look forward to his program coming next month. So Kelvin, just before we wrap up, just give us a rundown once again of the day. Start time, and it's free of charge. You don't have to register for anything.
So Emancipation Day from 9 a.m. and we are going until about 6 p.m. All events are free to persons to participate. I know persons who are from outside the community. We invite you to come and have participate with us. We'll have some events specifically for you outside, but we'll find ways to incorporate you as well, because at the end of the day, we are Tobago. As much as we're doing it for the district, as I tell you, some of them are borderline. So I know a lot of people would want to be in the district of Darrell Spring.
There's an attractive prizes to be won as well, right?
Yes, a lot of attractive prizes. And we would have some giveaways and that kind of thing as well.
Yes, man. And let me admit, I will be a part of this whole initiative. I really look forward to it.
Bring your family and come.
Yes, man. I get really excited when it comes to sport, and especially sport and family day. I can go across and eat some food, crab and dumplings, so I go across, I get some national meat and dumpling, and I get super
close. Where's the national meat?
Yes, I can't mention it here, but everybody knows the national meat. But I look forward to these initiatives, and I want to wish you all the best. I really hope that we have good weather on that day as well.
Yes, praying. And we are inviting Tobago updates to come and carry it live.
You're going to talk to the producer after that. Fantastic. But thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so if you are within his district, Wim, Darrell Spring, and all those areas, please go out and support. Monday, it's a holiday in Trinidad and Tobago.
Hill.
Emancipate yourself and go out and participate in sport. Is it time to wrap up? Yeah, so it's been a long program tonight. Of course, I said before, my sidekick isn't here tonight. Coach Cami, she's a bit under the weather. I really hope that she recovers well to be back here next week. We do have this event coming up, annual walkathon and breakfast sale. This is also on Emancipation Day. This is the Crusoe Isle Tennis Club. Of course, they are currently having their RBC Junior Tennis Tournament. So yeah, you can feel free to participate if you are in the vicinity there of Shore Park. Always good to see these fundraisers, and always good to support. All right. Once again, my good friend Ashley Gall is having this Super Shot, a one-day mixed netball tournament that's happening next month. And of course, I wish Ashel and the team all the best out there in the Commonwealth Games with the netball team. Of course, Ashel is the manager. You heard Kemba Duncan is the coach, and we have 3 players as well participating there. The games would have actually started today. I think that's all we have in terms of coming up. Right? We spoke about the Kelton Thomas Bodybuilding Foundation 2nd annual tag team Ironman Classic. I've started my training for this just to see, not to participate, just to be on the road watching. But this should be another good event. So yeah, it's been a wonderful program tonight. I want to thank Kyla Kit Wilson, of course, talking about Nicker's Netball Academy. Sheldon Cook, the Olympian, and he said in 5 years' time we're going to have some people from right here in Tobago participating in the 800 meters and hopefully break his record, his long-standing record. I want to thank Mr. Anthony Roy, our guardian angel out there, looking and scouting for Tobagonians and Trimbagonians to get scholarship to the US, and of course, the minority leader and the area representative of Darrell Spring, Mr. Kelvin Morris. Thank you guys so much for being online and of course sharing the live. This has been a wonderful program. Inside the Game, live on Tobago Updates and Tobago Sports Live. It's been my pleasure. Stay tuned to us coming back next week with Coach Kami, and stay safe. Cheers for now.
Let's go!